Good evening. I'm starting a whole minute early because I have people here. So I want to say hello to Marion. I now have your numbers, and I want to say thank you. I'm presuming you're working the bowl, the Tibetan bowl. It's such a beautiful bowl, because I sure appreciate it, especially when we have those long nights that have go on and on. I just want to say, oh, okay, hang on a minute. So I want to say hello to those that are on already. And I've already got an email from '07. So whether he actually shows up in person, I don't know. Kayla meant okay, 21. So it's been an interesting day actually. I don't know where sometimes the days go by. It just seems to go by. So anyway, we're here for those that are tuning in, and for mental mind treatments with psychic compression, of which I need. I don't actually need, but it's easier when I have three numbers. So at this point, I'm welcoming Kayla, Marion, and Karen M, as we say, because we have several Karens, and we're going to start in a minute. But I've also got an email from 007 on a couple of things. And as you know, he lives on the other side of the world. If you don't know, he lives on the other side of the world. So it's like it's after midnight our time for where he is. So he sometimes doesn't get it. And he hasn't been super well lately. In fact, in his email, he was saying to me, he had a car crash and is lucky he survived. So I kind of wrote that down because his treatment is for something a little bit different. And I put, he survived a car trap, and in brackets, not done yet. Yes, he nearly, it could have died. It managed okay, but man, it was a close call. So it's happening. So I'm going to start with '07's wish about his father, who's in India and in hospital, not doing well. And he chose the numbers, which was great, 4, 6, and 8, which for if you know tarot at all, it's the Emperor, and it's a little stuck. Emperor is kind of, this is how it is. Followed by 6, which is confusion, and that's apparently his state is a little confusing. And 8 is strength. It's like having the strength. But he's also added another number, which is a number 2, which is the High Priestess, which is choice. So I'm just going to do a treatment and see. We'll also see with that what actually comes out of the treatment, because often that gives us more of an answer, even myself. Okay, here we go. I know there is one power in one essence, and I also know that as I speak my word for what I call in these sessions 007's father, who is in India in hospital, not doing well from what I hear. So I speak my word for him, and knowing that personal choice is very, very important in situations like this. And yes, situations around him doesn't always make that easy, but it is important for him from here is to utilize what he knows within himself. This is something that he has to make the choice as what to do, how to handle, how does he look at it, what is he wanting. So often we are afraid when we look at people that we love that they're going to leave, but it's a reality. It is a reality, and it looks like it's his choice. He's going to go on his own terms, in his own way, in his own situation. So in the sense of knowing that, I know that the light of love, the light or the energy, whatever is his belief system, because there is some confusion in here. And when people get confused in their head, especially if it's near the end stages of their life, it's hard sometimes to separate what's real and what isn't real. And they don't have the strength to stand up for themselves or to say what they want. They kind of just hang in there. I just feel the sense, though, with this father, that underneath is an iron will, and that will show itself. And he may choose to leave because it's easier. And maybe he's tired of the fight. That's what happens sometimes. And I just sense here that a lot of this is about, like, especially the 8, which is strength balancing, is that he will do what is best for himself. He will do what's best at this time frame. I would say the next 2 weeks is going to be very important. A little that you 07 will know a lot more at that point, because this is all about 07's fear and worry about his father and everything that's going on around that. So I give thanks in the knowingness that right action will be taking place, that right action will always take place in the way it works and handles and be. So we give it the sense of right action. I let this go into the love and light by knowing that it is, and I repeat, and so it isn't. So isn't that interesting? I said, so it isn't. That was a funny point. That was not what I was thinking in my head. Big breath, and I go now to 02nd's sense for his own. Again, looking at his eyes, because he's been tied up with his dad. He's saying he's not taking his medications, and that's, you got to look after yourself first. Okay, when we look at the eyes, we've got 3, 15, and 21. 3 is the Empress, which is the love. 15 is our emotions taking control. That's not taking the medications. And 21 is the need to have balance. So let's do the treatment. I know there is one power in one essence, and I know as I speak my word for 007, that, in taking a big breath, that he understands how the love force works. He understands how light works. He understands how thought works. But when one gets upset, one doesn't always see that. And so our negative side comes up, our worry side, all those element things that happen. And so consequently, what needs to come is a reality check with self, Mr. 07, so that you can come back into balance. When you come back into balance, then you will see that everything is always in its right place. That is one of the hardest things to accept, that things are in their right place, and we have to deal with that. And we can, and we do, and we will. But I'm concerned about number 15. It is the devil symbol, which is our emotions out of control. And if everything else shows that you understand and you've got the abilities, so it's like unhook from the fear, unhook from what isn't real. You're not dealing with anything. You've got some reality things to deal with your father, and you didn't die in the car crash. So big breath, get back to reality, clear out the fear and the worry, because it doesn't do. If you've listened to some of the thinking things I've been talking about lately, you got to think about what you want, not what you don't want. I give thanks in knowing the 007 has strength, purpose, and awareness, and he does have a lot of knowledge and he can apply it. And in doing that, all will be well. And for that, I give thanks by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Now I come to Kayla. So funny, Kayla usually phones at 4:00 and lets me know what she wants. I didn't have my phone hooked in then. I was busy on a phone call from a friend I have not heard from for months. My age, she's mentally, sometimes there and sometimes isn't, I found. Anyway, she was very there today. So we had a long conversation, and I went, oh, Kayla hasn't done the phone. So I was thinking, okay, I will just do what I do. Anyway, I came on, and she came on here and gave me 3 numbers. I'm usually left to pick them. So she wants more energy. I wrote more energy and accepting fully love. Well, she's got that. I understand that. So anyway, her numbers were 17, 12, and 3. And I had written down 1, 3, 21. So 17 is balance. Always, we find that a lot with Kayla in the last wee while, to create a balance of what she does and what she doesn't do. because she tends to overdo it. And then you wear yourself out. But also, I'm looking at number 12 in the middle, which is acceptance of things. One of the hardest things we have, as we can see with 07 before, is to accept what's happening. And because of the 3 that follows it, because I know Kayla for many, many years, and I know she has her relationship with the love vibration or the light or whatever you want to call that. Different names, different people have different names and things. And what I see here is, and because 12 is a 3, to accept things, we have to be able to include how the love force works. We have to see that. So when we live with an understanding of the love force moving into us, and I just realized I wrote down here color, and I'll tell you why. People don't always realize the significance of color. Color is a vibration. So my words, and you may think about this for yourselves, to Kayla is, I know you have certain colors you really, really like because you paint. Those that don't know, Kayla is an artist. I have a house with many of her paintings in. Now, take the color you want and feel the love in the color. Then, you've probably done this 100 times, but I just want to remind you because we forget sometimes. Bring the color all through your body, from the very top of you to the bottoms of your feet, and let it come in. Take all this tiredness, all this weariness, and let the energy of the color, which is immune in love, like basically totally love, but it's the color that it moves, and move it through your whole system. Because it's time to get yourself balanced in the energy and to accept the love coming in, rebuilding, revitalizing the different glands, the different organs, the different awareness, to bring it into peace and harmony. And while you're doing that, think of not only to feel the love, but think peace and harmony within. Because you're always looking outside. I think we need to bring it inside more and just go in whatever color. It may not be the colors you usually use. It may be very different. So be very open for that one. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this, as we move into the, no, I don't know if I wanted to leave the site. Me and this rotator thing down here. Anyway, okay, let's just go to this. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know it moves in many different ways for each and every one of us. And as I speak my word for Kayla, I know that by accepting the love force in a different way, that it'll vitalize and bring the harmony and bring peace. So there is a slowing down and a quietening, so the energy is allowed to come to be able to do the things that you want to do easily. I give thanks in the knowing of this, because the love and the light is there, and she can bring it through, and it will be great. And for that, I give thanks as I release this by saying, and so it is. Big breath. Whew. Okay, Marion. Marion, as you know, does my bowls, so she wants clarity, and picks 3, 17, and 21. Now, not all the way that difference in some of these other numbers that we've already got, but 3 is that love number. It's the Empress. It puts out all the love, all the acceptance. And the acceptance is part of love, by the way, part of it. So 17 is about balancing the energies. And 21 is, again, another balancing symbol. Mental, emotional, all together. Okay. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know this that Marion understands that power, understands that lovingness and the awareness. And the clarity that she is wanting is right there through balance, balancing love with action, balancing energy that she does outside with the energy for herself inside. And by bringing those together, there is an understanding of the mental and the emotional and the physical all together. So the philosophy, the knowingness comes together. I just think of bonding. It's a bonding of different ideas and concepts, always bringing into balance. And as we bring it all into balance, there is a peaceful feeling. So let's just put that into treatment words. Knowing there is one power in one essence, as I speak my word for Marion, I know that the knowledge is there, the awareness is there, but now it has to be integrated in a new and different way. And I give thanks for the understanding of how balance works, how balance works on many different levels. It's not just A and B or C and D. It's like multidimensional. And it's in that sense of balancing when all things come together that there is the love vibration can move through acceptance. When I look at this, the numbers before me, as I say these words, I see acceptance. And in the acceptance is peace. And in the peace, we are revitalized and we have clarity. It's not what we think, it's the acceptance of what is. And in the acceptance of what is comes the clarity. And the realization, you can either do something about it or you can't. And if you can't, you let it go because you know that each person is responsible for where they are and where they're heading. And that is their learning and their awareness. And it's like that number 3, the Empress, you can look at that Empress and really see it. You can look at the star and see how the balance of the energy out and self. You can look at the world that holds that balance point. And just think of it as the mental, emotional together equal. I give thanks in the knowing of this for Marianne as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Now, Karen M. I've got 10, 11, 20. Okay. 10, Wheel of Fortune, Justice, and it's a big acceptance. There's a different name for it, though. My brain is a little tired, so it's not as right on the ball, but I know what it means, so I know what it's going to do. So what it says here is that there's a lot of movement going on, and it's like, what do I do? Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I stay stationary? So there's some decisions that need to be made, and as that came in the middle, to me, it's the most important. And 20 is about accepting the inevitably of where you're heading. That's right, it's judgment. The name of the card is judgment. Not because you're having to assess which way, what do I do? You got to look at that. And it's most invigorating because there's a number of judgment cards throughout, but this is number 20. And there's only 2 more symbols after that. So the key comes back to that 11. 11 is justice, where it is the not only when you made a decision in number 2, but it's where you now come to the point of accepting an awareness of your actions. What are you going to do? Which way are you going to go? This is your decision point. We're going to decide to do this. We're going to decide to do that. Are we going to somehow put it together? All these different things. So let's see what comes through in treatment. I know there is one power in one essence, and as I speak my word for Karen M. in this moment, I know there are changes, and in the changes, decisions need to be made. But it's more than just a decision. It is responsibility of where you're going and what are you doing. There's movement here, and so there has to be some movement with it. And it's all about acceptance of where you want to end up. I think a lot of this is looking at the change. Where do you want to end up? Where do you want it to take you? Because you're going to have to commit to whatever you're doing. That was the word I was looking for earlier, and it wasn't coming. Number 11 is about commitment to the decision that has already been made, but now you're committing to it, which is a whole different story. So it's like change is happening. What are you committing to? Is it what you really want? Because you're going to have to accept it. When you make this commitment to the decision, you're going to have to totally accept it. It's like you have to jump. You don't really want to jump in the deep end of the pool, but you're going to need it. You're going to need to jump into the deep end of the pool, accept it in the direction of where you're going, and allow it to be. So I give thanks in knowing this. I give thanks as I release this, because I know you know. And I trust this opens the curtain and you see a little clearer. I give thanks as I release this with my love, my light for you, my dear. Okay, now Lynette. Oh, how good to see you on. 3, 5, and 9 for staying in the now. Oh, how important it is to be in the now. See, again, 3, that love vibration. 5 is the need of more information. And 9 is the answer lies within you. Okay. What happens when we move out of the now? Whether we move past, future, whatever. What happens? Our mind. Our mind goes there. And who's in command of the mind? We are, supposedly. Now, I'm just going to run through your numbers here with this. I wrote down looking within. Yeah, I know that's one of the keys. That's number 9. So number 3 is the love vibration. I think you have that. I think you understand that. But 5 is, how does it work? That's the information. That's a lot of the things I teach through all these different things. We need the information to begin to adjust some of the parameters that we have up here and in here. Works both ways, mental and emotional, need to be balanced. And so we need information. We need guidance of how that is. And I know you're doing that. Oh, it might feel slow, but it isn't really. 9 says you have the answer. You have the clarity. So what are we looking for? Hang on, I just got to go back in here. For staying in the now, right? I wrote now, it reminds me of clarity from above. There is a saying, there is only now, because when we make our decisions, we make them in the present. So it's like watching the ticker tape. When I'm teaching a lot about thought, I use the definition of a second, but actually that's way too long, because we think faster than a second. We may have 20 thoughts in 1 second, actually, for those of us that have rapid thinking. Now, so the mind, there's a little ticker tape right across here. And the key is to sit back. It's a little different type of meditation. You sit back and you just watch without judgment. You don't judge your thoughts. You maybe do 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I wouldn't do it any longer than that if you're not used to it. You allow the ticker taper to go through and you watch. Now, sometimes you can concentrate on a certain thing, and you're concentrating on love, life, what you have had, what you haven't had. Just bring it back down into your heart. Breathe down. And then just sit back, relax, and watch your mind. Where does it want to go? Because it says the answer lies within you. So find out where it goes. It might start off nice and veer somewhere else and whatever, and then bring the emotions in, which doesn't feel very pleasant. But once you have a handle on what exactly the absolute thinking is that gets you out of the now, you can take a breath and, I'd say a lot about freeze, evaporate, replace, only because I had to do it for years and years and years and still occasionally do it now. It's like staying in the now, keeping yourself and your body, just being aware of getting more and more aware of what you know and where you want to go and how you want it to be. I give thanks in the knowing that Lynette can do this, can make a difference in the direction and the wherewithal of who she is and where she's going and what she's doing. So I give thanks as I release this thought, knowing it is done. And blessings to you, Lynette. Okay, now we go to the next one, which is Karen Lee. And she's written quite a bit, so let's see. Hi, Norma. Would love a treatment for my dear friend Vicky, who is experiencing extreme stress due to the consequences of her growing daughter's actions. Oh, yes, I understand this one. I'm concerned for Vicky's well-being. Thanks. 3:15 and 2. Okay, so friend, you don't have to. Whenever there's usually one, if you have more than one, or even one, it can be a little bit, a lot of that. That's Vicky, and numbers 3:15 and 2. Been there several times in my life, yes. Okay. Just taking a minute I'm looking at the numbers, and of course we've got wonderful 15, the devil in the middle again. So there's a lot of fear here. And you said that she was worried about extreme stress, okay, due to the consequences of the daughter actions. Yes, it shows that. Okay, we always have a choice. Do we choose love or do we choose upsetness? Do we choose understanding or do we choose, it should be this way? There's lots of variables in the two ways we can look at things. Love has a lot to do with acceptance, by the way. Although we have other symbols that talk about that more directly, you cannot look at love because it's a vibration and an energy unless you accept it, unless it comes inside. You can understand it in your head, but when you bring it into your body and your heart, there's a difference. So what we have now is fear, and you said it kind of thing in here. I'm concerned, you're concerned for your friend's well-being. Okay. And so in a way, we're doing this for you. Because what's happened when you get fearful, those thoughts go out. You know that mind sends out little vibrations, and to friends in particular. So actually, when I think about it, Vicky might be, you're the one that's concerned because she's concerned. And I understand that. So really, that concern deals with you too, Karen Lee. You've got to see the best. Your thoughts are powerful and you need to see the best you can, because your friend Vicky has a choice and you have a choice to remember everything is in its right place. When our daughters do things that you don't want them to do, or you shake your head or wonder what on earth is coming next, you have to understand patience. You have to understand forgiveness. You have to understand that you didn't give the daughter's age, but I'm considering your friend. So they're whatever the kid's old enough to do whatever she does. So we've got two things here. We've got your friend, but your concern for the friend is the key. Your concern. Because of that 15. Didn't pick it up till I hit that one. So we're going to treat for you as well as for you, so you can help your friend. Okay. Knowing the one power and the one essence and the love that one has for friends, one has for their children, And that comes down to in the loving element of all is just straight acceptance and doing what one can do, not to get emotionally caught up or sad or worried or concerned. And actually, what tends to happen is things blowing up. I know that choice is always there. Do we stay sane with our feet on the ground and give our support? Because we're dealing with lots of support here. We're dealing support with Karen Lee to her friend Vicky, and Vicky to whatever her daughter's up to. The universe is full of love. And what it is often repelled, I'm going to say, because we do not accept consequences. We want it all our own way. We want it to be that way. We want them to do this or that or the other. And sometimes it doesn't happen. But if you love, you will just love, accept, and deal with their consequences. I am trusting that the child is old enough to make some decisions. If it can be a little bit different if they're a bit younger, and you have to be a little bit more authoritarian. But I think here it's really about recognizing that love is understanding. It is accepting, doing what you can do and accept what you can't. Every individual who's come into their lifetime in this time that we're in here is choosing where they want to place their feet. There's so much when you begin to really understand how much is behind, what kind of past lives, what are they here to do? What do their birth numbers actually say? If you're getting into numerology, what's their life path? All of those things need to be considered rather than just being upset. Because when you get upset, you're not going to help anybody. You're not going to help your friend, Karen Lee. Your friend's not going to help your daughter. So your job, as I see it, just calm everything down through acceptance and look at fact. What can be done and what can't be done. I give thanks in knowing that Karen Lee can help her friend Vicky. You can help her daughter by being calm, very conscious, and giving direction to aid and help and not stir things up more. I give thanks for this by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. I love Masso7 says, hello, I'm here. Thank you. I did your stuff right at the beginning because you emailed me. So I've got that. You can listen later. It's all there. Marion says, thank you. Leroy, hi, sweetie. Marion's prayer works for me tonight. I love that. Thank you, Leroy. What you don't realize, we are all so similar. You hear me say the same words over and over again sometimes. If they're kind of help, like doing things, like my freeze, evaporate, and replace. Like I worked many years doing that in order to stay sane. So it's like, I know that works. And that's usually what I teach, is things that people work. So Leroy, bless you. Thank you. You and Marion are working the same path this week anyway. Okay, great. Thank you. Maggie G, hello. Good evening, Norma. Your treatment for Marion resonates with me. Thank you. Let me go back and see what was I doing there? Oh, clarity, 3, 17, and 21. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Well, thank you. See, Marion, you just got everybody online. Karen M says, thank you, very helpful. By the way, everybody, Karen B is, I think, begun her trip up into Eastern Canada, actually. So we can send her lots of good thoughts that way. Karen Migas. Oh, Dorothy, here she is. Dorothy, I can't even say that, my dear. Your last name, Durgalsov. I'm not very good at pronouncing things when I don't know them. Over 3 syllables, I'm gone. So, anyway, Dorothy, hello. I have been listening lately, but not signing in. Why numbers for me is, just put Dorothy, and is 12, 6, and 4. Well, thank you for listening. I appreciate that. Trustingly, you gave us some thumbs up, which we're trying to work on a little bit. And 12, 6, 16, and 4. Well, 12, if you know tarot, is the hangman. 6 is the lovers. And 4 is the emperor, which is experience. Okay. I'm just going to go. I don't know what the main concern is, but I'm going to just read right off the number symbology. Dorothy, you're at a place of needing to accept things as they are. Interesting. I've been talking a lot about acceptance tonight, because until you accept things as they are and then decide what you're going to do about it, you're stuck and you're confused because of it. Because it's like, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do the other? Or maybe this, so it's like we create a circle. It's like a whirlpool, So, sometimes the air, you can be sitting somewhere and it just pulls up all the dust and it goes in a little whirlpool. That's what begins to happen, because there is a concern here at doing anything. The emperor, which is number 4, is stuck, basically. He's stuck in what he knows. The key, actually, I gave that symbol years ago, was called experience, because when we have experiences, they kind of gel, and then we get stuck in how we think, how we react, and so we just keep doing the same old thing all the time. So what we want here, and there's a lot of the things I've been saying tonight, it's funny how we have groups of people with similar things. I'm going to do a treatment based on this to open this up, okay? And okay, I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Dorothy that I can have strength and purpose and awareness to accept things as they are, so that I can have clarity, I can have a forgiveness, I can have all the things that I have. Because otherwise, I am confused and uncertain. I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to act. I don't know. I go right. Do I go left? Do I stay centered? I'm unsure. So consequently, there is a doing nothing. It's like being stuck. I know through the power of love, through the power of knowledge, through the power of understanding, through the power of being aware that you have a mind and you have emotions that need to be balanced. I know that when you begin to be aware of that, you'll be able to make different thoughts, make different decisions, and be able to step into a new vibration that will bring light, love, presuming happiness as well, because you become more peaceful inside, and then you become more happy, and that begins to radiate in the world. I give thanks for that information and light and love as I give that to you. But I do want to say this as a new person coming on. We have a mind that loves to be in control. Absolutely. Believes it knows everything somehow or other, or whatever, in its own way. But then we have emotion that also wants to be in control. So very often we have a power struggle going on between our mind and our hearts, we'll say. And the key is to have them work together. Have them work together. If you're going to go all mental, well, you're not crazy, but mental thinking, that's going to tie you in knots. That does not give you answers. When you follow your emotions, very often it's too overwhelming. You don't know quite what to do with them. And the key is to work to balance them. And trustingly, if you keep coming and listening, we'll guide you through the different ways of doing it every Monday. And some of the other programs I do, just little techniques of how to deal and handle and work with. I give thanks for being able to have you on the show. I give thanks that the words can strike inside and go, yeah, but listen to what I'm saying to other people and how you can use it. We've got several now already saying, just one I did earlier for Marianne, 2 more have already said that has helped them. That's how love works. That's how understanding works. That's how it is to be. I give thanks in the knowingness, and I give thanks for Dorothy, and I release this thought through the whole thing by saying, and so it is. Enjoy. Karen Lee says that, yeah, child is late 30s. Whoops. You have a child, when you hit 30, you're in maturity. If the child is not acting like a mature adult, that's her business. All you can do is love and accept them. I've been through it. I know. Much as I hated it, much as my friends heard me many times pull my hair out, it's their journey. It's not like she's 3 or 10 or 20. She's 30. She's reached maturity. That's a cycle there when you hit 30. That's why sometimes they go a little funny. But you just encourage your friend to accept, and look after herself. Your friend Vicky, look after Vicky. But thank you, Karen Lee. If I can help, let me know. Maggie G, tonight you are on fire. Sorry. Feel like I'm out of, I think, anyway, I will listen to this again in the morning. Blessings, thanks. And just keep being there and keep doing those. 6 of you put thumbs up. Appreciate it. I'm being told that's one of the keys to put me where I want to be. Karen Lee, thank you. Good. And Kayla says, thanks, Norma. I will play with my paints tomorrow. Yeah, get the color that says pure love. Not what you think, what you feel. Okay, let me see. We're nearly getting to the end here. How's our time go? Oh, yeah, we're about right. Sean. Hi, Sean. I don't remember you. It's funny how I remember these people that come on. Sean. Okay, my dear. Welcome. Sometimes the new people, I should say, tell me your age. It does make a little difference. Okay, so just numbers. Please read me. 6, 13, and 19. Okay. If you know tarot at all, 6 is the lovers. 13 is the death symbol. Doesn't mean you're dying, by the way, if you don't know. And 19 is the sun, another aspect of what the death symbol teaches us. First of all, number 6 is like confusion. It's that it's really like men and women not sure with what's going on. But anyway, what it always means is confusion and uncertainty. So that tells me emotionally, mentally, there's not an accord at the moment. It be one or the other, or when you try and figure it out, it doesn't work. The heart's over here, the mind's over there. We've got this, we've got that, we've got the other. Oh, thanks, Sean. Oh, that makes a big help. So it's all there. 13 is a symbol, is about rebirth, leaving the old and moving into the new. But that is also the same thing as 19. But 19 is easy, where 13 is like it's the beginning of the journey. You know how you have to make big, I've been divorced a couple of times. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to leave something that you've put time, energy, and effort in, but it's the end of the road. That's death. You go through hell, actually, in some cases. But there is a newness that's approaching, but you've got 19 with it. 19 is the sun, where you're embracing everything that there is. So this is okay. This is what I would say. You need to get very clear on your priorities, and then make a decision to follow the sun, to follow what is your heart's desire, or your need to be happy, complete, and aware. Because it does take a journey. There's nothing wrong with being on a journey, like the death symbol, but it's not good to stay in this place, which is number 6, which is the love is of the confusion, and nothing makes sense. We're trying to make sense, but it doesn't. You need clarity, you need awareness, you need that growth, the process as you're moving into the newness. Oh, it's just, I've got tears in my eyes, which you can't see, which is good, because when you realize that you are more than being confused and sad and hurt. You are more. But there's a big step you have to leave behind. The death symbol is like coming out. The death symbol is a skeleton inside of a suit of armor on a white horse, riding over kind of dead land until that. But in the beginning, up in the horizon, it's there. So there's a journey in here, the journey of change, the journey of leaving behind something. Now it can be nothing changes in your environment except you change. Change is actually about ourselves, but sometimes with these 3 symbols, it's more like the environment. But I really find that number 19 is really good. But I still have to do the mental mind treatment yet. Let's see. I know there is one power and one essence, and I also know, as I speak my word for Sean, that there is a desire, I'll use that word, a desire to understand what's happening, what's going on, what's being, because there's this awareness of life being different and producing joy, happiness, and well-being. I give thanks in the knowingness for Sean that it comes down to a decision. It comes down to understanding, and it doesn't matter if you go right or go left, it's understanding that the confusion and the uncertainty of what is right and what isn't right, where it needs to be just plain acceptance. We've spoken a lot for tonight about acceptance. And this is part of it, even though there's not one symbol in here that says that particularly, but it's all about, in this case, Sean just needs to sit still and be quiet and get his thinking and his feeling straightened out so that he can make a decision for his next action. But he needs to go for happiness because that's what he needs. I give thanks in knowing this progress. And you're welcome very back to come every Monday. And without a little advertising, if you need help, I also do private consultations. So I don't usually say this, but I will for you because you kind of need some little helping hand, I think. But blessings to you, my son. Really, yeah. Seeing I'm double your age, I can say that. Okay, C. Turner, thank you. Says thanks for everything, Norma. Blessings to you and a lovely heart. And good, we've now up to 7 thumbs. That's good. Anything else? This is Monday night, and look at that. We're nearly an hour, not quite. That's close. That means I've been yakking away, which I like. Everyone who knows me. That's what I like to do best. So next thing we've got, at some point, and if you've got time, you can maybe write this in. I've started on Sundays rather than Sunday Thought. I've just been doing Are You Aware? And there's like maybe 8 minutes, 10 minutes long, just of aware of some action or reaction. If you have seen them, if you can let me know if you like it or don't like it or whatever. So it's a sort of a trial. That's a thought I've had. And so I'm putting it on instead of a Sunday Thought. It's a little shorter, but it's a particular thought, not a rambling thought. So in the meantime, blessings to all of you. And hopefully we'll see you back next week or somewhere along the line. You just have a good time and just enjoy. Honestly, sometimes I think when we go through these, what's the main thing? Tonight was acceptance. You can't change something that is. It is what it is. But you can accept what you want to do about it. You can accept that your father's not well. And all you can do is send love. Each individual makes up their own mind, no matter what age or where and how. If you want to be miserable, be miserable. If you want to be joyful, find that God sense within you. Find the love, find the essence, and be happy. So that you can accept things, what is, that doesn't fit your what do you call it? Your particular idea of how things should look. And you can breathe on that one. I have to breathe on that. Sometimes we don't know or we don't like what it looks like, but there's nothing we can do about it. So we accept. And we just know that whatever happens will happen. And you'll accept and go with it, because there are many things you have no power over. And a lot of that is what other people decide to do. Okay, time I got out of here, I think. Blessings to everybody. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, well, I'll see you Sunday morning, but I'll see you on next Monday night, right? Oh, hang on. What day are we on? Monday, Wednesday morning. I'll be on Wednesday morning. If you can shoot me, God, my verbality. I'm sorry. I was going to say you can send me an email if you have an idea of what you want me to talk about. I've got a couple of titles from 07, but I'm always open if there's something you really, really need to hear. So Wednesday's coming up. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't formed a thought yet on Wednesday. I'm not there yet. But if you want something particular, I'd really like to know it. And one way you can put it on here, when I'm on Mondays, or email me, which is on my website, but it's normacowie.com. Okay? Take care, enjoy, and remember, accept, 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 accept. I live with that myself. Bye now, with love.